Welcome, curious listener, to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really powerful excerpt from the Chris Watts murders, A Cold Confession. A Cold Confession. Our mission here is to pull out the most striking details, the key insights from these pages, basically give you a direct route to understanding the chilling core of this story, at least as the source presents it. So let's dig in. The account drops us, well, straight into a 911 call. You can almost hear it, right? The operator, 911, what's your emergency? And then the reply from Chris Watts, my wife, she's not breathing. But what our source really highlights here, what it finds unsettling, isn't just the words, it's how the narrator describes his voice. Calm, almost no panic, just cold. You'd expect, I think, most people would expect hysteria in that moment, wouldn't they? Does the source give us any hint why this lack of emotion is, well, so striking in the narrative?
Oh, it's absolutely striking. And it does more than just strike you. It immediately shifts how you view the whole situation. What's really fascinating, and the excerpt really leans into this, is that unnerving contrast. Yeah. It's a desperate situation, right? Life or death. But the voice, described as eerily calm, this isn't just, a minor detail. The source presents it as a profound insight, maybe into disassociation, or perhaps into someone maintaining a really meticulous, deceptive front. Even then, it just fundamentally challenges our assumptions, you know, how someone should act when facing tragedy. It forces you, the listener, to kind of reevaluate everything you think you know about the situation from the get-go.
Yeah, that disconnect you mentioned, the calm voice, the desperate reality, it's deeply unsettling to think about. And then right after that, the source tells us that when the police actually arrived at the house, Shanann and the two little girls, they were already gone, missing. And Chris, how was he described then? Oddly relaxed.
Oddly relaxed.
Yeah. So first, the calm voice, now oddly relaxed. What does that kind of response, that seemingly emotionless presentation in a crisis, tell us about the reality underneath, especially as the story goes on?
Well, if we connect the dots, like the source seems to be doing, this oddly relaxed demeanor, coming right after that strangely calm 911 call, it paints a picture of profound detachment. It's framed not just as like an odd reaction under pressure, but maybe a crucial clue, a sign of deeper, more disturbing reality going on. The account suggests it's almost a calculated presentation, right? A performance. Right. And that immediately raises questions about authenticity. Is this real? It really forces us to think about how drastically outward appearances can hide, internal truths. It definitely sets the stage for what comes next in the account.
Right. So this image of him, calm, detached, that's the first chilling layer the source presents. But as things get darker in the narrative, the excerpt makes it clear that this facade, it couldn't last. What's the critical detail the account points to? The thing that starts to unravel his story.
That's exactly where the neighbor's security camera comes in. That footage. The source really highlights how these ordinary home security cameras, they captured moments, crucial moments. And these moments directly contradicted everything Watts was saying, his whole narrative. It wasn't just like one more piece of evidence. The source presents it as relentless, undeniable proof, visual proof. It just systematically dismantled every lie he'd carefully built one by one. It became this irrefutable timeline of his deceit, It forced a confrontation with reality, a reality he just couldn't spin anymore. That shift from the fake calm and this undeniable exposure on video, that's presented as a massive turning point in the account.
Yeah, you can almost feel the walls closing in as you read it. And moving through the source material, the path from that footage to his actual confession, it's just brutal in its clarity. You see the pressure mounting as the lies get exposed again and again, until finally he confesses, admits to murdering his pregnant wife, to smothering his daughters, and then dumping their bodies in oil tanks. The timeline itself, just laid out like that in the excerpt, it's a horrifying descent into the bare truth.
And that brings us to a really critical point for reflection, one the source emphasizes. It explicitly states that Chris Watts made the 911 call. Okay. But then it adds, chillingly, He already knew they were dead.
Wow.
Yeah, that's far more than just deception, isn't it? It's presented as this incredibly calculated performance. What does that specific detail really reveal about the psychology at play here? The way someone can apparently create this completely false outward reality while holding on to such horrific truths internally, it really forces us to confront this profound capacity for premeditation and that stark contrast between the face shown to the world and the reality hidden inside. Right. It's almost unbelievable. So, this deep dive, it leaves us with a truly provocative thought, doesn't it? How does a person reconcile actions like that? Such calculated, horrific actions with the seemingly normal, mundane facade of everyday life? Especially when that final, horrifying detail from our source reveals that the very first cry for help, that 911 call, wasn't real desperation. It was already a lie, a cold, premeditated lie. What does that make you consider, But the stories we tell, both to other people and maybe even to ourselves, and what unsettling truths might sometimes be concealed just beneath the surface.